Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be continuing the Trackmania tutorial series on the Royal Game Mode. We'll be covering today's new map. I'll be doing a drive-through of that, showing you guys how it's driven, and letting you know if there's any tips or strategies that can be used to help on today's map. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. Be sure to subscribe and like if you are. And let me know in the comments if there's any particular tracks you want me to check out. I'm happy to check out some of the older ones that were out before this tutorial series started. But for now, let's get into the video. Alright, so here we are on the new map for today. It is called Monkey Ball by Everios96. Sorry, I might not be pronouncing that right, so I am sorry to the mapper if I'm not. I think generally, the general aesthetic is it looks really nice. I like it, all enclosed in these rocks. We have these floating decorated platforms here. So when we're actually driving on this map, it all kind of feels really, really full and vibrant. And I really do like that. I think the general aesthetic is really nice. Gameplay wise, it's okay. I would say my biggest complaints are going to be blue and black, mainly because of the way these rotating blocks are used. During the super, the first couple of rounds, we lost 2 seconds a run simply because we got here a fraction of a second late, and therefore lost 2 seconds. You can get to this like a fraction of a second later than another team, and be at the finish 2 seconds later than them. It's I'm not a fan of the use of moving blocks in this case. I think blue's the same. You can just lose so much time if you're off cycle. You have to wait so long for these spinners to come around. So personally, not a fan of moving blocks used like that, but of course that's personal preference. Other people will like that, and that is completely fine. That's just my thoughts. So for now, let's get into the map and see how it drives. So here we are on the white section. There's a few things to note. Something that if you haven't seen the map before you might do, which I did, was kind of just drive straight off here. And I did this even though you could clearly see the pole was here. So be sure to at least go a little bit left or right. So you can take it really slow if you want, quite safely, like so. And I will just reset here. If you want to take it slow, that is fine. There is a full risk line that I'll showcase as well. So if you want to send white, be sure to turn a long way, left or right, and through the finish. So you have to turn a long way left or right, jump down to the plastic downhill there, and go around those poles and back into the center towards the finish. But remember, there's a pole in the middle at the finish, which I don't know if I agree with that pole being there. I think it's fine, but it is a white section. It's probably not necessary to have that pole there, but perfectly fine. Okay, we're on to the green section now. And for green, we want to just drive straight through here. Gently around these little slalom section. Remember to stay fairly centered on that. It's a lot easier if you just stay centered. Now here we have water tires, and I'm going to talk about a mechanic here. First I'll just drive through the section, show you how it's driven, but then I'll reset and I'll talk about a mechanic here because it's quite important. So that's green. Now on plastic, we have the option to do kind of like a plastic bug slide, I guess, but you can see I'm using it here even for these slow sections. See where my wheels light up there? I'm actually holding accelerator and brake together. So if we go back here and see how it drives normally, see my car will just rotate normally along here. But what we can do for these sorts of sections is hold accelerator and brake together while we steer, and that gives us a lot of grip. And that mechanic also applies to water tires. So if you see here, our car is just sliding, but if we hold accelerator and brake together while we do these turns, our car grips. And you can use that to navigate those sorts of sections on plastic, especially with water tires. It works with dry tires, but you notice it a lot with water tires. Right, so here we are onto the blue section now, which has these moving blocks, which I'm not that much of a fan of. But to get past this first one, not too complicated. All you have to do is wait till just before it's horizontal and drive across, and you'll make it across. Just drive across the center. Just before it goes horizontal, just drive on it and full speed across it. Okay, for this one, we want to wait until just after it goes vertical, and then we want to get on. So wait till just after it's vertical, and then bang, we're on. And then stay on the left of these and steer right, and you'll get a decent enough transition across there. Alright, for these ones now, again, we will wait until just before they're horizontal. You can enter all their, like from the left or from the right. I like to go from the right, it just feels more comfortable for me. And again, we want to zigzag across them to get a smooth transition like so. And then once you're on the last one, full speed across to dodge that hole in the center there. And that is the blue section. Okay, so we're onto the red section now. And for red, I'd recommend driving fairly slowly. There's a fair bit of kind of precision, narrow road driving. So pick a side, left or right, completely up to you. It's perfectly mirrored. Whichever side you pick, so I'm going left here, I will then steer right after. It opens up this corner a bit, makes it a lot easier. So drive over these, and now it starts to narrow. So take your time here. There's no need to rush. There's plenty of time to finish this map. And just make sure you're perfectly lined up. Again, take it slow so you have time to steer here. Just barely got it in, but you can see I took that fairly slowly, and there's really not much room to slow yourself down there. So make sure you do take it slowly and give yourself room. Again here, line yourself up. There's no need to rush, but again, take these slowly. You can easily overjump that, and I've done it many times. And once again, this one here you can rush a bit, like not rush a bit more, but once you're lined up, you can sort of full speed it a bit more. Even if your tyres are clipped over like that, you will get up here. And that is the red section. Okay, so here we are on the black section. It's not too bad of a black section, it's just kind of the moving blocks I'm really not that much of a fan of. But it's not too bad to drive overall. I am going to showcase 2 ways to get across this first spinner. So the first run through, I'll show a bit of a safer way that I initially learnt. And then the second run through, so I'll respawn when I get to the finish, and I'll show you guys the strategy I'm using currently. So let's go. Okay, so for the start here, you just sort of zigzag over this, over these black circles. I'm not really sure what to call these, but so when the spinner stops here in this position, that's when we want to get on it. So right now, it's about to stop. Let's get on it. And you can just wait in this position. And you can wait here for as long as you want. You won't fall off. But basically, if you just sort of creep on, you can get yourself all set up. Take your time. Get yourself ready. And then what you can do here is just, once it gets to here, just reverse off. You might dip a tire over here, but it's fine. You can get your tire back up with a little bit of practice. All you have to do to get your tyre back up is reverse up a little bit before your second rear tyre doesn't go off, and then just accelerate forward. But as your wheel taps, just before it taps, release accelerator. Otherwise, you can quite easily shoot off the other side, because your car will just kind of accelerate. But yeah, once again, we just drive over these black circles here, just the outside of them, and to the next one. Again, we can take this fairly safely. Again, just get yourself on this and get yourself set up. And then once it's here, just reverse off. It will be moving, so you have to do it fairly quickly, but that's the way it's done. Now I'm going to show you how I drive the black section. Okay, so let's go. So basically we take the start the same. Once this is in the position where it stops, we don't do the take our time bit, we just drive straight across. Which you can do with a bit of practice. And here, once it's stopped, we sort of just accelerate through the over the, let me just cam 7 and show you guys, over the black section here where it says Trackmania. That's kind of the line we want to take across. We want to go straight across here, and boom, you're through. And that is how the black section is done. Right, so I'll do another playthrough of the map here. Feather the throttle if you want on white, just to control yourself when taking the risky route. And onto green again. Again, stay as inside as possible on this little slalom section. Through the water, kind of angle left, because you have to go left anyway. Do our bug slide that we learnt. Stay as close to the pillars as possible on the inside. And to the finish of green. Okay, now onto the blue section, and I will delay my start of blue, just to see... just to give myself some random timing, but it does look like it is going to work out. As long as it you can see when it's going to be horizontal, you're fine. And I kind of forgot what I was doing here, but it's fine. Again, just zigzag left to right and the finish. Now again, just before it goes horizontal, I am going left, which I don't normally do. It feels a little bit weird, but as long as you remember the general mechanic of just zigzagging across, you kind of get into a rhythm. Onto red now. Again, we don't want to rush red. It's very easy to clip tires and jump too far on the red section. So just focus on getting through it and get yourself to the black section. Give yourself the best chance of finishing the black section. And onto black again. Same thing. Get to here, drive across. Make sure we drive across that that Trackmania part of that and through the finish. And that is the map completed. That is Monkey Ball by Everios. And again, I do apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But yeah, honestly, a solid map. It's definitely not the worst. As I said, my only real complaints are those moving blocks. Other than that, I think the aesthetic of this map's amazing. I think white and green feel really good to drive, and red's okay. It's just, you really have to be patient with red. That's the biggest thing I would say with red. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I shall see you all in the next one.